your left side of your brain controls the right side of your body. So if we're constantly focused and we're really rigid and we're kind of just like this, first of all, it looks like you're a robot. And then second, it is called endorphins. Those are your happy things, right? If you're sitting, you're not releasing. Okay, highly controversial one, guys. If you're thinking that you are anxious or depressed, phones, computers, like that's making it worse, right? The reason that it's making it worse is because of the light that's behind some of those devices. When I was little, we actually saw each other, so now we're doing this video game thing, right? And so what I've noticed with him is that if he's spending a lot of time doing that, he's not so nice in our house. So turning off these things is really, really helpful, which is why I say kind of highly controversial, right? Because social engagement for you guys might look like social media of some sort, okay? That's not what I mean. Okay, sometimes we can kind of go now that you're setting off social media, whatever you're on. I don't even know the names of things these days. But whatever you're on, turn it off every now and again. Moving on. Remember, one of your 4 things is social engagement. So if you start to notice that your friend, or you start to notice that you yourself is pulling away from those social engagement activities, when you used to be someone that is very social, engaged with your core group of friends, engaged with your youth group or anything else, and now you just don't feel like going, that is warning sign number 1. That something's going on, because again, that's a natural development thing for this time period, okay? So reach out to those friends where you're like, I haven't really seen you a lot. Or we used to sit together at lunch, and now you sit in a hallway somewhere, if that's still a thing. I don't even know if that is, okay? So check in on those that you haven't heard from recently. Be together. Especially when we have to follow some mandates. I'm not sure that those things are going to happen, but who really knows? One of the things that, being a psychologist, during that COVID mandate of shelter in place and things like that, we flipped overnight to telehealth, and we made sure that people were still engaged because we knew that this was going to be not so great. It was something that we had to do to keep our safety going, but now, together, we have to deal with the ramifications of what happened in 2020, okay? I'm not going to argue if we did something correct or not correct, but now we've got something, we've got to figure it out together, okay? So as a group, as a student body, when I stand up here and I look at all of you, there's so many people around you. Social engagement is going to be key for your friends here. It's going to be key for your teachers. Teachers, connect to your students. Students, connect to your teachers. Use each other. You can do this. All right, so now that was a little heavier. Let's do even heavier. Sound good? Okay, so anxiety, depression, and suicide kind of runs off of your mouth. They all seem to kind of go together. All right, right after this, if we want to call we are starting to see self-harm and suicide tick up in this population, higher than I've ever seen it before. The most important thing you can do is make sure that you're talking to people. Don't do this alone. You can do it together. So first I want to go over some myths, some facts. The first one here, no one can stop a suicide. It's inevitable. That is a myth. Some people say, if they want to do it, they're going to do it. I can't do anything about it. No, that's a myth. This one's a fact. If people, that's a fact. If they're reaching out to the people they need to. This one a myth. Confronting a person about suicide will only make them angry and increase the risk of suicide. Oh man, that might be the worst mistake we could ever make, is say, oh, I can't do anything about that, so I'm going to do something differently. Asking someone directly about suicidal intent lowers anxiety, opens up communication, and lowers the risk of an impulsive act, right? You seem to know right here that my facts are reach out to someone, right? The myths are leave them alone. That is the strategy. So make sure that you're reaching out to the friends that are quieter when they used to not be. Make sure that even if it's hard, be brave, confident, that you know you're taking a step in the right direction if you're someone that feels anxiety, depression, or even suicidal ideation. Just a couple more myths and facts. So first one, suicidal people keep their plans to themselves. That's a myth. Almost all people that are feeling this, having this thought, are going to communicate something in the way of self-harm or suicide.